Hello, Year 8. Today we'll be doing spelling sheet 10. We're going to go through the words one by one. Initially, we have acidic, which in science you learned anything that has ample amount of free hydrogen atoms. Basically, it gives it a pH of below 7. It can be sour and destructive. Secondly, we have ajar, which means slightly open. For example, if I give you the sentence, the door was left ajar. Then we have antiquated, which means old-fashioned and no longer appropriate. It's a little different than saying something is antique, because if something is antique, then it can be pleasant, it can be used. But this antiquated means something that is no longer appropriate. Then we have bountiful, which means in large quantities or giving generously. Then we have cavernous, which is kind of like a cavern. Think of it like a cave. It can be something that is large and deep. Then we have compassionate, which is basically showing compassion, which is showing or feeling pity for others' suffering and kind of wanting to help as well. Then deafening, which is something that's very loud, which is a deafening sound, for example. Then we have distorted, which is to make something look strange or unnatural. You can like distort a water bottle out of shape when you like crush an empty water bottle. Then we have drab, which is something that is dull or not interesting. You can use drab in replace of boring. Okay. Then we have excruciating, which is something that is intense, severe, or very bad. It can be both physical pain or mental torture, for example. Then we have exorbitant. If you're talking about demand or price, it's something that is much too high or much too great, something that is usually unreasonable. For example, if you want to go buy an apple and I ask you for $100 for just a single apple. Then we have feisty, which is showing a lot of energy or spirit. For example, if somebody is being too active in class, then they can have a feisty spirit, or maybe in an argument, they're a little bit too feisty. Then we have frail, which is weak or delicate, something that can easily be damaged or broken. Then we have grandiose. Grandiose is something that is more elaborate than necessary, or something that produces a splendid effect. Depending on the context that you use grandiose in, it can have a positive connotation or a negative connotation. Then we have grimy, which is something that's covered with grime. What is grime? If you have, for example, a drainage pipe and it's full of gunk, let's say, then you have that thick top layer of the gunk and all that liquidy stuff under. The grime is that thick dirt on the surface. Then we have grotesque, which is something that is ugly or absurd in an offensive way, all right? Then we have hoarse, which is sounding rough or harsh, or being hardly being able to speak. For example, if you have flu, then you have like a hoarse voice. Then we have hushed, something to be quiet or silent, or to make someone quieter. Or for example, if there was a loud sound and everybody was scared, then there would be like a sudden hush in the room. All right. Then we have intrepid, which is something that's without fear, or somebody that's without fear, or somebody that's brave, for example, an intrepid traveler. Then when we talk about intricate, we're talking about something that is composed of many small parts, but they put them together in a complex way to form a larger piece. For example, if you have an intricate design on a blouse, or like an intricate hand stitch design. So it's like many small stitches that are put together in a complex way. Then we have searing, which is something that's extremely strong. For example, searing pain. Then we have turbulent, which is something that is in a state of disturbance, confusion, or conflict. For example, the turbulence in Sudan. And then we have opaque, which is something that does not allow light to pass through. Therefore, it's not transparent or not clear. Then we have homely, something that is simple and plain, something that gives you the feeling of comfort because of the word home, or something that is not attractive and plain. All right? So, going through the spelling sheet itself, let's take number 2. Thankfully, we had a harvest this year, so this will be bountiful because it's plenty, right? Afterwards, we have writing a paragraph using the following spelling list words. You have to incorporate all of these words in one paragraph, and because you're in year 8, I want to expect a beautifully written paragraph. Then we have underlining the word, which is the same part of speech as the word in bold. For example, laughed is a verb, so we look for the verb here, which would be ran, and we would underline the word ran. Then we have to add the suffix able or able to the words. For example, love becomes lovable. Remember here to watch out for your e's, and sense becomes sensible. You have to watch out for your E. Do you drop the E? Do you not drop the E? I'll leave that up to you. Then we have pairing words that are synonyms and antonyms. For example, we have vacant and empty. They both mean empty, so this would go under synonyms. Then we have underlining words which does not have a specifically feminine form. For example, actor is actress, but builder has no specific female form. Similarly with visitor and builder, and hero and actor, the feminine form of actor is actress. For hero, it's heroine. Then we have adding the missing commas. You should be experts in this. Then spelling these words correctly. For example, communicate. What do you see that's wrong here? What do you see that's missing in communicate? There's a double letter there somewhere. And then we have adding the missing apostrophes, you're experts, and then the abbreviation of each of these, you will be experts in this, and underlining the adjectival phrase, which is just a phrase that is a descriptive phrase basically. Then we have finding out whether these words are derived by imitating a sound or from another language or from the name of a place or a person. For example, moo, obviously it's imitation of a sound. Then we have adding the missing semicolons. Quite easy. You should be able to do this, and I wish you the best of luck. Bye!